All right. And we're good, and the comment section is up. Well, welcome to everyone. I need to just pull this out, and again. So, to everybody who is starting to tune in, we'll just give a few minutes before we actually get into announcing everything. But welcome to a co-broadcast to shared between JC's Riptrack, Midwest Model Railroad, and Model Railroading Live. And we are here to announce the winners of the Down and Dirty Weathering Contest, number 3. And I have a couple of we have between here on the screen we have 3 of the 5 judges who are here. So we're going to talk just a little bit about this. And so I wanted to welcome my guests or co-hosts. I think it's sort of a little bit of both. One face you're already quite familiar with, and that is Ralph Renzetti, the Mudfather, who is this way. Sorry, I just got to make sure I'm pointing in the right direction. And Ralph, of course, is a veteran weatherer. He was very much a partner in this process of having this third Down and Dirty Weathering Contest coming together. And I'm very grateful for that. And of course, Midwest Model Railroad, who is our sponsor for the majority of the prizes for today. And that, of course, is the new face you see here. That is Brandyn Day. So, Brandyn, do you want to just introduce yourself and tell us what you do at Midwest Model Railroad?
Yeah, sure. So my name is Brandyn Day. I'm the office manager at Midwest Model Railroad. I'm also I'm sure some of you are familiar with Stephen Atwell, the owner of Midwest Model Railroad. I'm kind of his right-hand man. When something goes wrong, I'm here to pick up the pieces, unless I'm the one that does it wrong, and then I'm still picking up the pieces. So,
so you are the piece picker upper.
That is exactly my job description. Yes.
The go-to guy.
That's right.
And the interesting thing is that we're actually representative of 3 different time zones. Ralph is in the Eastern time zone, which is what we actually scheduled this for at 11 o'clock. Brandyn, you're in Central, I believe.
Independence, Missouri, Kansas City, Central time.
And then, of course, I'm out on Vancouver Island, which is on currently Pacific Daylight Time. But one of the reasons that we decided to do this early on a Saturday morning, like for me, it is just 8 o'clock. And so at this time, we have people who entered this contest. The beautiful part about this is that we had people inquiring and entering from various places well away from North America, and including at least 2 entries from Europe. We did have some inquiries from Australia as well, and so it just really became an international kind of affair. So that's been which has been great. And we wanted to just with the judging, we did things a little bit differently this year. And of course, the one thing that I don't want to overlook at any point during this is this is the Down and Dirty Weathering Contest number 3, and that's because Ron Marsh of Ron's Trains and Things hosted contests 1 and 2. And one of our carryovers from the contest 1 and 2 is, of course, one of the judges was Eric Hall of IMRRO.com. And so the 3 of us were judges in the contest, Eric Hall and John Peters.
You're also a carryover.
Well, okay, yes, I am a carryover. That yes, I was the winner of the very first Down and Dirty Weathering Contest, which is the whole reason why my channel got started, and it has certainly grown from that. So I owe a lot to Ron Marsh. And so, Ron, I hope you're whether you're listening live or otherwise, it is. I wanted to just say a very special thank you to having gotten started, and I was pleased to be able to host this. And hosting a contest is, as a few people will point out, is not necessarily an easy process, and so there was a lot of things, and Ralph, Brandon, and I are going to be doing a debrief of when we do this the next time, about how we're going to be doing this, and coming together with this for the next time. Also, just it looks like we've got a number of people in. This is looking good. Seeing so many. I'm looking at the chat, and it's just lit up. So there's going to be a lot of things. We may field a couple of questions, but largely this is a hey, welcome, and we're going to talk a little bit more about the contest. Brandon, before we get into this, is that I wanted you to kind of share, because you're the main contest sponsor. Midwest Model Railroad has undergone a bit of a expansion transformation recently. Do you want to talk about that a little bit?
Yeah, happy to. So about a year ago, we moved. We're still in the same kind of strip mall complex, but we moved a couple doors down into a 6,000 square foot warehouse, essentially. And over the last year, it seems like the model railroading business has had a bit of an uptick. So we were actually able to expand our inventory even more, and we were kind of busting out the seams in the 6,000 square feet place that we had. So we doubled that and added a little bit more office space to a 15,000 square foot total. And with the unfortunate closure of Caboose Hobbies, we actually believe we are the biggest model railroad store in the United States. Don't quote me on that. I'm not exactly sure if that's true, but we'll see if we can get the Guinness Book of World Records out here and see if we can take the title back.
Sounds good.
Well, that's really, really good news in terms of that. We're very pleased that I know that you sponsor that Ron Marsh, you sponsor him for his getting to be massive YouTube channel now. In the railroading community, and very pleased that you were able to, even though Ron is not hosting it this year, still to be able to provide us with the prizes. Now, for those of you, I'm going to go over the what we did differently this year, and then we're going to start getting into announcing some of the winners. Is that back early in the year, I had proposed to both Stephen and to Brandon that if I were to be hosting the Down and Dirty Weathering Contest number 3, that we do things a little differently, and instead of just focusing on rolling stock, that we would expand it to include structure and locomotive, to see if anybody would bite, because for many people, weathering rolling stock is something it's a great starting place for working with things. But a lot of people, and Ralph, you were the one who would point this out, that you'd have these when you first got into weathering, you'd see these lovely weathered structures, and then but unweathered cars. So in some respects, people actually start weathering with doing structures,
and that was on the front of major magazines.
Yes, and it's that whole package. So quite often, structures is a good starting point. Rolling stock is an easy one, because if you want to practice, you find the bargain bin and pull something out and do that. And the cars that I won with in my in Down and Dirty Weathering Contest number 1 was exactly that. I literally pulled them out of a couple of N scale gondolas out of a bargain bin, switched out the trucks, and weathered them up, and ended up winning. So Andy, how many people do we have watching right now? it looks we have some pretty heavy traffic coming through, and I'm very, very pleased to see so many people.
Yeah,
By the
I'm really
way,
impressed with the quantity, and I'll get you some totals in a few minutes. I'll let you know what we've got.
excellent. Thank you so much. By the way, that's Andy Crawford of Model Railroading Live. We are broadcasting on 3 different channels: on my channel, on Model Railroading Live, and Midwest Model Railroading's. So whichever channel you're tuning in for us, I have to apologize. My light is a little dim here, and the sun's supposed to be up, but of course, typical of the West Coast, there's a lot of clouds. So I'm not well lit. So anyway, we'll just kind of go from that. And with all the comments, I'm wanting to say hi to everybody who's come in. But of course, everybody here has come here for a reason. We did the three categories, and not only do we have the 3 categories, we decided that we would do 3 different categories with prizes for the top entry in each. We would also do the People's Choice Award, which is something that has been from the contest from the get-go, and then of course wanted to do something that thought a best of show prize. So we're actually offering 5 prizes to 4 people today. And of course, any of you, anybody who entered could enter in as many categories as they wanted, but you could only win in one category. That was one thing that we wanted to make sure that we spread this around rather than kind of put it in one particular area. So we are handing out 5 prizes to 4 different people, and the base prize is a $75 gift card to Midwest Model Railroad, but there's some additional stuff. Brandon, what additional stuff is Midwest Model Railroad providing?
So we will be providing Midwest Model Railroad shirts, not the one that I'm wearing, a T-shirt that some of our other employees wear, and also a T-shirt that you can buy in store. And once we have announced the winners, all I'll need from them is shirt sizes, so we can get you in. You're not wearing a small when you're an extra large, or vice versa.
Yeah,
and then we've got some other little goodie things here and there. We've got lanyard, Midwest Model Railroad lanyard, and also a Midwest Model Railroad tote bag, which I had around here somewhere. Really nice tote bag. They're perfect for shows. You go to a show and you want to get stuff, but you're like, am I going to put this in, a plastic grocery bag? These are nice tote bags you can carry with you.
Perfect.
very cool. Sorry, I'm taking the opportunity to respond to a few people in chat. A lot of people are saying hi, saying hi to everybody, no, this is great. So we're going to move into our first. We're going to move into our first category, and it was kind of arbitrary as to which one we would announce first. But we are going to be announcing the winner of the entry into the structure contest, and we had a total of four entries, and these were all great. One of the things that I found, Ralph and Brandon, I don't know if you found this, but these were like across the board. We had some really good quality entries, and some of them were just difficult to determine. Like even when I had all the judging forms start to come in, I wasn't sure where this was going to land, and because sometimes you can go to a weathering contest and you can see clearly this one is going to come out on top. This one was a harder time, and it was especially true of the structures. There were some really good entries into that. They all it was interesting. A lot of them followed a similar theme, and that seemed to go well. But I don't actually have a drum roll here, but I wanted to say for the different entries that we had, I'm just bringing it up now that I am pleased. Out of the 4 entries that we had, I am very pleased to announce that Drew Boone, where are we here, has won for the structure category. And again, this was like by some razor thin margins.
Razor thin margins is right.
On this one, and so for the other entries, this one probably was one of the toughest ones to do the call. But when we put all the scores together and we averaged them out, Drew, you came out on top for the structure, and the one thing is, Andy, can I get you to? I realized I didn't warn you this ahead of time. Can you pull up the playlist for the Down and Dirty Weathering Contest, and if you can give the direct link to Drew's video that he did for this? Drew's video is very good. He does the White River Line. His YouTube channel is the White River Line, and definitely worth having a look. So Drew, you get a little bit of an extra boost to your YouTube channel as well, because go check out, subscribe to what he's doing. Like, he had 2 entries into this contest, and because he can only win in one, I can say that his rolling stock entry was also very solid as well. But Drew, we awarded you this one, and so, but he's got the 2 videos of this one and his rolling stock entry, both extremely solid entries, very, very good. Congratulations to Drew on this one. Ralph, did you want to offer any comments on this entry as well, or?
Actually, on all of them, I was thoroughly impressed with all of the entries, and the decision on Drew's, we were late into the night on the final, trying to decide, and we brought one other person in to help us break the tie, and Drew ended up on top, and this. To me, it's really impressive.
Mm-hmm. And again, Brandon, when you were judging, did you find the same thing with with some of the structure entries as well?
Yeah, when it came to judging the structures, I almost felt overwhelmed because I thought all of them were so good.
Mm-hmm.
And like we said earlier, it was very close. I mean, Drew's model is fantastic, but I would be remiss not to point out John Arthur's model as well. I absolutely loved that. And some of you are maybe familiar with Darius Bell. He's another employee here. He also runs the Instagram Kansas Rail Fanner. He was just he was kind of in the room when I was judging, and we both looked at the cinder blocks in John Arthur's model. And it was just such a little detail, but also so important and so specific, and we really loved that. So I cannot say enough how just the structures overall were all so fantastic.
Yeah, and
of course,
and in a similar way, and of course, just wanting to do shout outs to the other entries, Brian Jones for his sawmill, and Steve Anderson for his transfer shed. I mean, just just some of the details and the paying attention to prototype was just phenomenal. So this category, I would venture to. No, I'm not going to. I was going to say this one was the hardest one to judge. All of them were challenging, but particularly with this being this kind of challenge. So. Now now someone just put down, it would be nice if we could see some of the other entries. Well, that I can do for you. So just give me a quick. I'm going to do a quick switch here because I actually happen to have that up on my up on my system at the moment. So just give me a second, and I can just do. I've got these sitting on my just here on my blog. Andy, would you be able to just put up the URL for that? That I've set this up so you can go in and see this. And if you look just over on the right hand side, you can actually click and just see the entries to one that if you want to look at just the structure entries, that's where you can go in. And now, of course, you can go to Midwest Model Railroad's site. That's where we did the judging for the People's Choice Award. But this one gives you the video or the blog on how they how the entrant did it, plus some additional pictures and prototypes. So this is the more in-depth look at it. Eventually, I'm going to be using this blog to do a little bit more, and so just some of the details. Like I said, this one was just a real challenge to a real challenge for us to judge. Just because all the entries were so good. But we don't necessarily want to stay on just one category. We got two more categories and 4 more prizes to award. So I guess we're going to move on to Locomotive. We had 4 entries into structure, we had 4 entries into Locomotive, and we had 11 entries into rolling stock. So with that, with the Locomotive one, we had some, again, first rate entries. Oh, Andy.
Here, I just wanted to give you a drum roll.
Oh, okay, right.
That's what that's supposed to be. So.
Okay. Okay.
John was like, "Is this static? What?"
Yeah,
it's not great, but it's the best drum roll I can find real quick when you mentioned that. So
all right. So with that, I am going to share there's the drum roll, and for Locomotive, I wanted to say a congratulations to Robin Felder for his Norfolk Southern -9. And again, this is an HO scale. Robin is braver than I am. This is a brass model. And so congratulations to Robin and for that. Now, Robin is one of the, even though we were going to hold this probably in the morning anyway, Robin is from Luzern, Switzerland, and he's an avid North American modeler, and he's very enthusiastic about joining. So again, Robin, thank you again so much for your entry. I'm just going to switch the screen now over so you can see some of the other Locomotive entries just on the screen. But again, you can also just jump over to my blog if you've got the link to that. And that's where you can see other pictures, like for everyone who entered. Just give me a moment here, and I'm just going to pop this over to the blog, where you can now see the four entries here, and we have. From Michael Stokes, from Cameron LaFleur, and Will Kling, as well as Robin's. You can see all of their entries into the contest. Again, same sort of thing. These are all real. We were very pleased with how these came together, and again, it was hard to in terms of just being pleased with the quality, but Robbins was clearly out on top with this one, but that's not taking away from the hard work on the other entries as well, and so we were pleased to be able to offer that, and again, congratulations to Robin. Now, I'll bring Robin's back up, but Ralph or Brandon, did you want to offer any thoughts?
You want to go first, Brandon? Sure.
Yeah, the one thing I would just say about Robin's model is I feel like there's a tendency to over-weather sometimes, especially when it comes to the NS, anything with a darker paint scheme. But this was like a really great blend of like showing being very prototypical, but also not doing too much. I thought it really kind of towed that line. But like you said, all the other models were fantastic too.
Yeah.
And congrats to Robin.
Yeah. Ralph?
Yeah, the Star Wars reference. You've done well, Pedwan, right? I was thoroughly impressed as a novice weatherer. He took a brass locomotive to work on. That was like way up there for me. And the fact that the job he did was excellent. It's not overdone. The total phrase applies. Less is more. It's just a beautiful locomotive.
Yeah, and it's phenomenally well done, Robin. And one of the things in looking at the techniques is that some of the techniques, Robin, that you were using are things that I'm pretty sure you learned from me, but there were other techniques. You were pulling in techniques from all over the place.
Yeah,
and it's very, very much of the synthesis of that. So again, congratulations, Robin, to you. But we do need to move now on to.
But first, I want to know when he's sending it to me.
Oh yeah, okay. So and Robin, I think I saw you in the chat, so I know you're here.
Oh yeah.
And so we'll yeah, we'll go for there for the moment. So now just kind of getting ready. We're going to move on to rolling stock, and of course, rolling stock. We had a number, many more entries. Certainly, several of the people who entered into these current categories have also entered into rolling stock. Both Drew Boone and Robin Felder did also put entries into rolling stock. So you can say that it's safe to say that they're now out of the running for rolling stock, and because they have already won, and again, this one was a hard one to call. That there were a number of really good quality ones, several that just stood right out. But of course, in the end, only one can win. And I think for the first time in the contest, we actually have someone who is winning in O scale, and that's Ryan Tamburino. And for his O scale covered hopper, and again, phenomenal job with this one. Very. We're very pleased with how this one turned out. There were a couple of things we're going, well, how did you do that? And when you get the judges saying, how'd you do that? that's a really neat feeling. So again, congratulations to Ryan Tamburino. The Ralph, did you want to start with this one, or?
Yeah, I was really impressed with this. In watching the video, how he did it, I thought he was going to go off the deep end,
Mm,
and the way it finally turned out is just it's amazing, and compared to the prototype as well.
mm-hmm. Yeah, like in fact, one of the pictures that was put up is that he put this car in a combined picture immediately below the prototype, and you had to look to make sure. Okay, the one that has the car in the picture is the prototype.
Yeah, without that red car in there, when I first got this photo, I was like, okay, which one's the prototype and which one's the model? I was blown away by it when I first opened the file.
Mm. So the again, very much a very solid entry to this one. I was very pleased with how this one turned out. So again, congratulations to Ryan Tamburino. So now here's the thing. We now know who the three entries of the categories are. I am just going to give a little bit of a shout out. I'm going to stop this for a moment and give a little shout out to everyone who, in the same way that we did for the others, for all 11 entries. I need to make sure that I've brought that up to the proper entries. And be able to share all of these entries for rolling stock. I can't even fit them on the screen here, so that you're seeing. So Joseph Giunto of the Touch of the Brush weathering. We have Joseph Martinez, Stephen Anderson. Of course, there's Ryan's entry. Michael Stokes, who also entered into Locomotive. Robin Felder's Gondola. Drew Boone's also Gondola. Gino Damen joining us from the Netherlands. The Nicholas van Gemert, who has the distinction of being our youngest entrant. And so again, and thank you. And then of course, Rick Gates down here at the bottom. And so again, just being able to show everybody's entry as much as possible. Like I said, I can't even get them all on the screen, but we have our 10 entries into rolling stock. That
like the other categories, they can go to your blog and they can see all of these things for themselves.
Yeah,
one picture at a time.
Yeah, and there's also links to the video, or because we didn't require a video for this contest, some people submitted a almost like a PowerPoint presentation. Some did PowerPoint but exported it to video, which certainly worked. We wanted to try and open it up so that you're not just being that you're not necessarily restricted to whether or not you have a camera, but wanting to make sure that people get a chance to do that. So, I mean, again, these were really, really, really tough to judge. Some of the margins on this were very, very thin, we had. Again, it was a tough call, and one of the reasons we had the 5 judges is that to kind of even things out a little bit, rather than it being just simply my judgment or Ralph's judgment. The idea is that we would be a collective for this, and so and again, it was hard and like
that close in 2 categories at least.
Yeah. Put it this way, the margins were so thin in structure and in rolling stock especially, that the difference between the top four or five were I think an average of
2 points.
just
Two
well
points.
like
Three
yeah,
points.
just 2 or 3 points. That's it. And so one of the things, we need to announce a winner, but I'd love to give prizes to everybody for this, just because the quality of the work that was done. And so wanted to extend a special thank you to that. But we have two more categories to announce, and of course, the next one we're going to do is the People's Choice Award. And Brandon, do you want to say anything in terms of People's Choice? This is very much a fun category where it's less a formal vote, and just kind of go in and pick your favorite and get your friends to help you.
Yeah, and that's interesting because there are a lot of folks in here who have several several votes that are in the hundreds, but one specific individual seemed to have gotten a team of people to come to back him. So congratulations again to everybody in the People's Choice category. Obviously, we've had it up on the website for a little under 3 weeks now. But if we're ready to announce the winner, I'm ready.
I'm ready to put it up. So
okay, so for his coil car, our People's Choice winner is Rick Gertz with 171 votes, 22% of the total votes. And we had 450 total votes, with voting closing at midnight last night. So absolutely crazy.
And again, I mean, that's the kind of the fun part about bringing this in, is that in the People's Choice Award, it literally can be anybody, and
yep.
and that's somewhat we can offer that. You can see Rick was one of the ones whose entry was not a video entry. It was more of a fairly extensive essay about how, and particularly how he detailed the graffiti on that. And again, we're just quite tickled with how this came out. And the nice thing about the People's Choice is that this is not something that the judges can. We don't have to worry about this category at all. That's up to everybody out there, and so that's what in terms of how Midwest Model Railroad had this as the setup. But so I'm just going to stop. Going to stop with that. But before we move on to announcing the final winner, and one of the things, in addition to the prizes that Midwest Model Railroading is providing, the Ron Marshall runs Trains and Things, and Eric Hall are also providing some prizes. For those of you who are winners, the Drew, Robin, Ryan, Rick, what you can do is I will be emailing you and cross-copying to Brandon. We'll make the arrangements for that, to make sure that we have your addresses, shirt sizes, things like that things go where they need to go, and to make that to make that as part of that. But with the People's Choice, again, quite our fun category. But also, I before we move on, I want to very specifically thank our judges, Ralph, for your wisdom and guidance, Brandon, of course, for for being the sponsor for this, and to Eric Hall being one of the original judges and co-hosts for the original Down and Dirty Weathering contest, and for his and veteran weatherer John Peters, who you can see a lot of his work over on the Rust Bucket Weathering forums, and just to do a little bit of a shout out to the Rust Bucket, because there are some very, very good people over there with how with the work that they're doing, and you know, it was fun to see people from all different levels of weathering coming in. I'm very pleased with the quality of all the entries, and that made judging these ones like judging them all together. But it was a case of course we had to work on a best of show. You know, which of the models that we've seen came out on top. And now, one of the things with judging, you know, truth is, it is subjective. But part of the qualities we looked at was also to say, did we as judges learn something new from what we were doing? That was something that we were looking at. That if there was something that surprised us, that was really interesting, that was lending itself well to some of the higher scores. And as I said, these were very razor thin margins, but in the end, one model came out very much that came out with the highest average score. And I guess the Andy, do you want that drum roll again, if you can? Because we get to announce our best of show. So. And there we go. Our best of show goes to Robin Felder for his phenomenal Locomotive, which of course you've already seen. One of the reasons why I was kind of hedging and not talking too much earlier about Robin's work is that watching what Robin did with with a variety of different techniques from across the board. I mean, using oil dot fades, using the different types of panel work, of then using pan pastels, which some of us have had certain degrees of luck. It was that complete synthesis of everything that really pushed this one up. Ralph, Brandyn, do you want to offer some thoughts on this?
Well,
yeah, I synthesis is a great word that comes to mind for me as well. There is not a spot on this model where it feels like even a millimeter was missed in terms of being exact. And to me, it's just one of those models I'm just enjoying looking at. Mm-hmm. I'm like trying, you know, I when I watched the video, I was like trying to find spots where, okay, maybe this wasn't as, you know, as consistent across the board, and you just couldn't do it. And like I said earlier, I also showed this to Darius, our kind of resident weatherer here at Midwest, and he was equally as impressed.
So, and again, the thank you to Robin. But I mean, I really want to say a thank you to everyone. Like this is one where very, very, very hard to judge. Ralph, do you want to offer any? I realized I just interrupted Ralph, so
even though you said he used pan pastels, even though he used the pan pastels, which I'm not a fan of, he did a good job. He did a really good job, mm-hmm. and well deserved.
Yeah, and and with that, we wanted to say again, I'll just, for those of you who are joining us late, I'm going to we're going to work our way backward, just for those of you who may have missed our entries, that we of course now we've announced everyone, and so for those of you who have won, look for an email from me, or if you want to preempt, go ahead and email me, and we'll start the process of making sure that prizes get to where they need to go. And those of you already have my email, and so what we so at this point, it's just our best of show is to Robin Felder, who also won with this entry, of course, in the locomotive category. Rick Gertz, the one for the People's Choice Award. You can actually see that on Midwest Model Railroad's website, and then to Drew Boone for winning in Best Structure, and Ryan Tamburino for winning in for his entry in rolling stock. Now, I will be making adjustments to the blog, that if you want to see the winners, I'm going to add some tags to them so you can see who all the winners are. And those will stay up on my blog in perpetuity. They'll just simply stay there. And with that, the next thing that we get to do is we get to kind of go back into our corner, evaluate how this contest went. We look at for the next time that we get a chance to do this, is to be able to say, how are we going? How might we do things a little differently? Are there different prize options that we can do this? This was the first time that I was hosting it, and again, a special thank you to Ron Marsh of Ron's Trains and Things, who is providing some of the prizes to this, but he was the one who literally got this entire thing rolling. And so kudos and credit needs to go to Ron, and again, a thank you to Eric Hall, and we can get a chance to work, but would love to hear your feedback. Please, for all these entries, you can either go to the blog, you can connect to them on Midwest Model Railroad's site, or I've got the playlist for all of these, for all the ones that were video entries on my YouTube channel, and also to plug some other YouTube channels. Through these playlists, you can get access to Robin's, Drew's, and Ryan's YouTube channels to see what they've done. But for everybody, please go check them out. These it just there was a lot of fun to be had, and we want to make sure that that kudos and credits go to everybody, and again, thank you. Like I said, I wish I could hand up prizes to everyone for this, just because I personally really appreciate the quality of what everybody has put in for this contest. And so I think we are coming to the end of this. Again, thank you so much for everyone, to of course Andy, who's been our director behind the scenes, Brandon, to you at Midwest Model Railroad, and to Eric and John as judges, and of course I want to say a special thank you to the Mud Father himself, who has done a great job in terms of providing me with a reflection point of making this contest really work. And I'm very much looking forward to some of the more collaborations that we will get to do in hopefully the near future. But they just keep watching these channels, and we will do that. So Ralph, Brandyn, did you want to say anything before we sign off?
It's been my pleasure to do this, and I look forward to, in the future, if we're going to do it again, count me in.
Absolutely, and certainly for everyone, we're going to be looking for feedback and the like. So please, if you have some feedback, feel free to email me, and to the we can offer some suggestions. And so what's next for me is to put the recording of this video out on the respective channels for people to catch it in just on the repeated live play. I will come back at some point and try and read all of the comments, because there were so many, and I want to make sure that I'm taking some time. So in a couple of days, once the comments have been processed and put back into the live streams, I'll be going through and rewatching it, not just on our channel, but also on Midwest Model Railroad and on Model Railroading Live, because a number of you are coming in from so many different places, and I want to make sure that I catch all the comments. So again, with that brings our broadcast to a close. Again, thank you so much to everyone, Andy for being our producer again.
Thank you to all the entrants, all the people that reached out to me. Midwest is obviously very happy to be sponsoring this contest, and I'm sure there will be another one in the future.
Absolutely. And so with that, everyone, good luck, and may you keep on track.